An inmate has died days after being assaulted at a Toronto jail. 27-year-old Mangok Akol of Toronto has died in hospital last Thursday, 3 days after being assaulted by a fellow inmate at the Toronto South Detention Centre. He is the city's 8th homicide of 2025. Well, police were called to the Toronto South Detention Centre on the evening of March 24th for reports of an assault. They found the victim with life-threatening injuries and rushed him to hospital. 32-year-old Andre Ford was initially charged with aggravated assault, but after Akol's death, police say those charges will be upgraded to second-degree murder. Well, he's due in court tomorrow. With more on this story, let's bring in CB24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan. We've reported on many stories of, inmates, and issues that happen inside of that detention center. What's your thoughts on what happened here, and what are police saying?
Well, despite the fact that jails are dangerous places, anytime there is a death as a result of a homicide in a detention center like what we just reported on, the Ministry of the Solicitor General gets involved as well. So the Toronto Police Homicide Squad will conduct the criminal investigation, and the Solicitor General's office will conduct their own investigation to see what went wrong. Despite the fact that all of these people are incarcerated, there is a duty of care, right? There is a duty for them to be taken care of inside the jail, regardless of what they're accused of doing, or if they are serving a sentence, or if they're there being detained on a detention order. The Ministry's office will do their own investigation, and there typically is a mandatory coroner's inquest as well, anytime there's a death in custody like this, and that, of course, unless the chief coroner of the province decides that there won't be an inquest. But most likely, if there is a homicide in a jail like this, there'll be an inquest.
Do we know any information about the accused and the victim in terms of why they were in jail in the first place?
We don't, but the South Detention Centre is a provincial holding center, so you either are in there for a crime less 2 years, a sentence, or you're in there being detained on a bail. So we don't know what they were in there for, but regardless, anytime there is a death like this in a jail, it certainly is taken seriously by the provincial government as well, and they will, again, conduct their own investigation.
In terms of gathering evidence, I'm going to assume that there's a lot of surveillance cameras inside those facilities. How crucial will that be for the investigation?
That'll be most of the evidence, in my experience. I've investigated a couple of incidents in detention centers, and it is very difficult to get statements from others that are in the jail for understandable reasons. So most of the evidence will be given by the wardens themselves, those in charge of taking care of the detention center, or the surveillance videos.
You have to wonder or assume that a lot of those people that are in there probably don't want to talk. They don't want to snitch. But is there ever situations where maybe they do want to talk and maybe their sentences can be reduced? I don't know if that's a situation that happens often, but curious.
Yeah, it can happen. Certainly can happen, particularly if somebody is being detained and they are not convicted of a crime, but they're waiting for the trial. It certainly could help them out, but I can tell you the odds of somebody wanting to give evidence who is in custody currently is the next to zero.
It's understandable.
Of course.
CB24 is crime analyst Steve Ryan. Thank you.
Okay.